Hey, what's up, y'all? Just want to report this dream that I had on 6/11/09.
Awesome.
And this is how it starts out.
Thanks.
Last night I had a dream. I was in this huge building, and my mother had left for a minute, and I was in there with Afton Tarrant, and Afton did something that made some of the windows break. Now, first of all, windows are spiritual blessings from God. That's what it says in the dream book, and that makes sense. And she was breaking them, you know what I'm saying? But it's not Afton. Afton's a good girl, everything. It's not her. It is, it's someone. It's just a symbolic. Sometimes in my dreams, it'll be somebody. So, you know, somebody I have to minister to, but it'll be just a scenario, not actually that person that it's dealing with. So we have, let me see. So I was trying to tell her to stop, and that she would get in trouble when my mother came home. And in this dream, my mother is, but she didn't listen. And in this dream, my mother is Jesus. So yeah, just to let you know, that is Jesus. So once again, a symbolic representation, because you know He is my mother, my father, my everything. You know what I'm saying? He created me. The building stemmed off into a street, and on our way out, my mother was traveling the opposite way on the other side of the road and passed by us. So she's, you know what I'm saying, because we're headed forward, you know what I'm saying, humanity is headed forward and Jesus is coming, you know what I'm saying, so on the opposite road, you know what I'm saying, so we're going to meet is basically what it's saying. That's my opinion, that we're going to meet. And let me see here in the road. Then we turned around and we went back towards the house. And so I've been telling you that this is God's house, my opinion, you know what I'm saying? Because why would he get mad about a house, you know what I'm saying, with the windows broken out if it wasn't his house? So it's his house, and we went back towards the house. So I guess we turned around and went back to the house. When we got outside in the parking lot, I saw my mother had went and picked up Charles Smith, and then my mother went inside the house and saw what Afton did, and I knew she would be mad. And Afton sat in the front seat of my mother's car, and my mother told Afton she was wrong for doing this and gave Afton a spanking on her backside while I was in the back seat with Charles. Now, you know what I'm saying, this meaning this is one of her children. I mean, one of God's children. You know, and what it is, that's how you give, you know, you would give a spanking to your child, you know what I'm saying, like to reprove them, to make sure that they don't do it anymore, you know what I'm saying, to correct them. But you don't destroy them, you just correct them, you know what I'm saying. So that's going on with that relationship. There's no destroying or anything like that. But it will be correcting, though. She gonna let you know. God gonna let you know. Let me see here. Then me, my son, Elijah, Charles, and I, we went to these apartments in the daytime and went upstairs. And I think apartments means, you know, not permanent, you know what I'm saying, just a part of the matrix. That's what I call it, you know what I'm saying, part of the matrix, just a little building, you know what I'm saying, but not permanent one. When we got up there and walked in, we went into the living room, and the main guy was in the other room. Then we stepped into the room, and the man was a foreigner with an accent. When he saw us and saw Elijah was with us, he said rudely, "No children are allowed in here. Get him out of here." So for protection of Elijah, the guy who opened the door took him back into the living room, and Elijah started crying loud. Then the foreign man became angry because Elijah was making noise, and the man got up off the floor and got this little white dog and was going to send the dog into the living room to attack Elijah, and he had a gun with him and with a silencer on it for us. So I ran out of there and got Elijah and left out of the apartment. Then the scenery changed, and I was walking into the movie theater, and I was walking with a group of people in there. Then, I want to let you know before we get to the movie theater. The movie theater is like, I say society. It's like society, and whatever is on the screen is like what society is seeing at the time, you know what I'm saying? And then you can see the reactions of society from the dream, you know what I'm saying, from what happens in there. You know, they're looking at the screen and you'll see their reactions as you go through it. So let me see. And also I'm walking with a group of people. These are my friends, you know what I'm saying, that I'm walking with. So I know that, you know what I'm saying, because there's no flags, there's no problems, and, you know, I'm walking, we cool. Then I looked at the movie screen to see what they were playing, and it was one of my personal camcorder tapes. And as I was walking by, I was looking at me describing my dreams as they were coming on, and one of them in particular, I said to my friends, when y'all finish watching this dream, y'all will think that I have some crazy dreams. Then I kept walking, and I went to this restroom in the back, and Candace Woodard was in there, and we were just talking. Then we left out of the restroom, and when I came back into the theater, I was looking for a seat, and I found a chair towards the back. And then I saw my son Elijah, and he was in front of me about 5 feet, and I wanted him to be closer to me. And this girl said, he can sit there. He can sit here. So in my dream book, seats is authority, you know what I'm saying, position, all that kind of stuff like that. So I had to go in there in this theater and find my position where I fit in society, basically, I would say, now that I look at it. So I pulled his chair up, pulled Elijah's chair up directly in front of me. And also 5 means grace, grace by God. The theater was full of people, and I kept looking at the movie screen, and I was surprised people weren't leaving after seeing it was my own homemade documentary. I was rapping my songs, and they're in there, and talking. I was rapping my songs on there and talking about my dreams and thoughts about life and Jesus and my basketball games. There was also a part where Tupac Shakur was talking, but it seemed kind of like he was in the theater, and he said to reporters, "I ain't no snitch or trick, but I've had a hunch, and I had a hunch, and I went with it, and I was right. And I seen how shady them niggas are, and I don't F with them." Then I seen one of my friends who was a girl, and she had the remote to control and rewind and fast forward the movie, and I got it from her, and sat in the middle section, and I controlled the movie and rewinded and fast forwarded it, and I thought we would get into trouble for taking over the movie theater like this, but we didn't. Towards the end of the camcorder tape, everyone was still watching my documentary, but a small group of people started leaving from the last row on the far left side. Then the movie was over, and I went to look for Elijah. So I started heading towards the door, and I ran into my cousin, Drew Minor, and asked him where Elijah was, and he said, "He's doing fine, Mr. Bobby. Mr. Bobby was watching him for you." Then Drew said, go and talk to Mr. Bobby real quick and see what he has to say. So I went down the steps on the left side and saw Mr. Bobby, and as I was walking by Mr. Bobby, I noticed he was talking to this older group of women, so I just said hi and passed by him so I wouldn't disturb them. Then I came to the bottom of the steps, and I made a right and walked to the end of the middle first row, and I saw Muhammad Ali sitting in the row right above mine, and Mr. Bobby started talking to me and said, "You're very talented, and you can shoot that ball exceptionally well, better than all the people you play against. Your shot is super intelligent." Then I humbly told him, "Thank you." Then Mr. Bobby said, "The competition you play against is not that great, and you need to get in the A-League to have some real competition." Then Muhammad Ali said, smiling, "On the third and fourth note, none of these bad things would have happened back in the days if we had a message like yours." And I humbly told Mr. Muhammad Ali, "Thank you." This Muhammad Ali was a young Muhammad Ali with a mustache, and he had a black hat with stars and moons on it, and he had a black suit on.